Okay, thanks so much for having me here today. This has been really amazing and a really powerful day for me. And I'm curious to everybody here in the audience, did you get more than you thought you would out of this day? Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny how that happens. You never know how things are going to come back around. When I was asked to submit my bio and my speaker picture for this conference, I submitted a picture of me with my son, who's 11 months old. And so I tend to be a very private person. I really wasn't sure if I wanted a picture of my son out there, but I did it. I just I put us both out there. He didn't have any choice in the matter. And then when Vince was here this afternoon playing his guitar, the music that he was singing, I was sitting here in the front row looking up at my son, and I just had such a powerful connection with him. It was emotionally overwhelming. So it's just funny how, when you put yourself out there, you expose yourself, you never know how things are going to come back around and lift you up. But today I'm here to talk about TEDx Youth Day. And this is a TEDx event that started, this theme started last year, and it was very successful. They held events all over the world. It is, the theme of the event this year is going to be play, learn, build, and share. So that is the theme. There are 88 different TEDx Youth Day events that are scheduled around the world so far. And the date that they're all going to happen on is November 20th this year. And so that is scheduled to coincide with the Universal Children's Day. And that day was declared by the United Nations General Assembly back in 1954. And the purpose of this day is to recognize and encourage the rights and the welfare of children around the world. So, and the whole purpose of TEDx Youth Day, of course, it is a TEDx event for children and young adults, although adults are, grown-ups are certainly welcome as well. And it's quite often in different TEDx youth events around the world, it's the children and the teenagers themselves who plan parts of the event, who are participants, who are speakers. So I'll give you a couple of examples. This is TEDx Youth at Tampa Bay. And this fellow here, his name is Mike Imbassi Annie. I knew I would never be able to say it, so I wrote it on my hand. So he is a prodigy in blues and rock guitar playing and singing. If you ever listen to him on YouTube or something like that, he is absolutely incredible singer and musician. And so there's lots of great musicians out there, but what's special about him is that he's 14 years old. And when this was taken actually last year, he was 13 years old. So these are some of the amazing people that you can get at some of these youth events. This is from TEDx Greenville down in South Carolina, and the TEDx conference organized a high school art contest, and they invited students in the school to submit their photographs or pieces of art. And this wasn't even the winning entry, but I just love this picture so much I wanted to share it with you. And this young girl, her name is Darnia Juma, and she lives in Amman in Jordan. And she is the creative director for TEDx Youth at Amman, and she's 9 years old. So we are going to have a TEDx Youth at Victoria. It's going to be an amazing event. We are looking for adults who are inspirational role models for young people. We are looking for young people who want to share their amazing life experiences with their peers, with other teenagers. And in fact, just today, interestingly enough, I think we found our first speaker at this conference. So through TEDxMileZero, we're already starting to build TEDx Youth at Victoria. I think it's going to be an incredible event. And I'll just take a quick moment to recognize some of the people that are helping with this conference. So Milena Marr is going to be, she's my colleague, and she's going to be my co-organizer for this conference. And I also want to take a moment to recognize all the TEDx volunteers. For those who don't know, there's a large group now of local volunteers who have decided to collaborate on all of these TEDx conferences. And it's simply, I'm coming into it a little bit late in the game, but it has been really an incredible experience for me to meet all these people. So, and I'll just take a quick moment perhaps I'll conclude by telling you a little bit about what TEDx means to me. Missy mentioned, when she was introducing me that I work in law enforcement. So that's true. I am a police officer. And very funny putting me on stage after the graffiti guy. Ha, ha, ha. So I'm off duty, of course. My views are my own. They don't represent my department. And I'm actually on parental leave right now. But when I do work as a police officer, quite often I spend most of my day dealing with issues around poverty, homelessness, drug and alcohol abuse, mental health problems. So it can be a very negative environment. And for me, TEDx is about inspiration. It is about meeting people and sharing ideas. It's about rejuvenation. And we all need that in our lives. And I think Mark Twain said it best. I'll just paraphrase him. I don't have an exact quote. But he said, when we start closing schools, we better start building prisons. I'll say that again. He said, when we start to close schools, we better start building prisons. So a school, it doesn't have to be concrete and brick walls. A school can be whatever you make it to be. So on November 20th, this year in Victoria, we are building a school. It's called TEDxYouth Victoria, and you better believe it's going to be one that Mark Twain would approve of. Thank you.